How do you think our clients are adapting to the new retail environment?
I think it's changed. I think it's had to adapt since the pandemic and since lockdown. It was at the brink of death, and it's had to come back something different to survive. I think with that, people have spent a lot of time at home and they're used to the comforts of home. That's a recurring theme, which certainly I've seen in design and rebirth of the retail. It's bringing home into the space, because if they want something quick and cheap, then they'll just buy it online. If you're coming into a store, you're coming in for a reason. You want to spend some time, you want to get somebody's opinion, you want to feel comfortable where you're sat. That needs to be chosen in the materials and the space and how you feel when you're in that space, because it's not just a flying 10-minute visit anymore. You're there for a couple of hours.
Yeah, because you want to be, rather than because you have to be. I think that's the difference, isn't it? Like, people are choosing to go, no, I'm going to pop into the shops today, or I'm going to come out to Merry Hill, for instance, or any of the other, like Liverpool One, or those shopping centres for a reason, rather than sitting at home and ordering those bits and pieces online. The space needs to offer something different, which is a combination of, I guess, like you said, comfort, interactivity, a personal touch.
Big part of the design of this store was trying to incorporate that bar. So you've got that offering of drink, tea, soft drink, a beer, a beverage, a glass of wine, something which you feel, again, that just extra little bit of relax.
The materials chosen in this particular store was all about, I guess, comfort, softness, for multiple reasons, from a customer experience, but also acoustically, making that kind of nice environment.
I think acoustics is a big thing, especially since that change, because it's, again, where you've had that kind of quick, fast pace, you're not really there long enough to really appreciate the acoustics of it. So massive part of design was coming in. Also interesting, the different ways in which you can incorporate that. So acoustic panels, such as on a vertical, but also from the baffles in the ceiling, which we put in. So you've got all those different elements coming in, and layers, and some just making that dampening and, again, bringing that comfort.
Yeah, I think materials is something that I've seen consistently across the projects that I've delivered over the last sort of 12 months, where it was new concepts or a redesign for a brand. They're thinking a lot more about those materials and how they feel for themselves, represent the brand, but also for that customer.
I think also the sustainability of it. It's been talked about for many, many years, but nobody's really taken it that seriously until, I think, recently there's been a real drive from customers actually coming of, we want to have a sustainable impact and to be conscious of the materials that we use. For example, we've used Smile Plastics, which is a recycled content of bottles. In terms of worktops, the felt and the acoustic panels which we use that recycled material as well. So it's recycling, reuse, and giving stuff a different purpose.
I would say technology is quite a big one. Introduction of technology within the design is something that I can see that's going to be pushed further and further. Obviously, you have to be slightly ahead of the game when it comes to retail, in terms of making that investment and keeping up with how quickly things adapt and change. But everybody has their phones, their iPad, and bringing that into a store where those two things can come together. I think it's just an expectation now from people.
I think our evolution's come as well. Part of this design of the store, we didn't have desktops and screens, which is sort of traditionally what you'd expect in a travel agency. It's moved to laptops. It's more of that ad hoc seating, more relaxed. So even in respect to that, but future-proofing as well. The screens at the moment are playing information, but they're touch.
Yeah, set up to have interactivity. But we saw it in previous projects last year as well. I think that kind of, for instance, the creamery, they had positions for various TVs. It wasn't necessarily essential, but it brings another visual aspect. It kind of adds an interest, sells their products.
Storytelling, I think that's a pretty consistent thing which is coming in with clients. They have a story, they want to tell it, then that's what customers are buying
for
into.
instance, with these acoustic panels, they wanted to introduce the flight paths and mirror some of the bigger brand, I guess, in a really subtle way, but also gives you a talking point and, like you said, storytelling. So
likewise as well with the gallery wall, for different economy, the business class, what you're getting and what you can expect for the different packages when you're booking a holiday. So again, it's a sales tool of fading and going, well, this is what you're going to get, rather than blindly knowing. If you've never flown business before, you don't know what to really expect. So it kind of helps the customer buy into that.
And I think gives you a unique experience, which I think lots of people are looking for now in terms of bringing that back to an in-person interaction and sales. They're looking to feel unique, special, like they're the only ones, I guess, which online doesn't give you, which is why I think hopefully retail is being revived in that way.